How cool is this? Kenmore central vacs are relatively common. They did a great job marketing in the 60s, 70s, into the 80s. To my knowledge, there haven't been any Sears central vacs made in the United States for the last 30 plus years. But how often do you see a new in the box Kenmore central vac setup from 30 to 40 years ago? Well, that's what we have here. Let's start with this box. So in here I see a spare brush roll for the Power Mate, and just like their canister vacuums, this has the 2-brush 1-beater design, and this will be an electric hose made to fit the old style 1 1/4 inch Kenmore wall inlets, complete with the right angle adapter plug. And this hose, just from sitting for all these years, the material has started to deteriorate. So when in actual use, these didn't last all that long. They had tremendous airflow because this is like even bigger than 1 1/2. It's like, maybe it's 1.5 ID, but it seems like closer to 2 inch. We have a spare belt, a spare release pedal, for use with any of this manufacturer's UL listed Power Mates. This is pretty chewed. Owner's manual, electric current carrying hose. Kenmore was always great about the documentation. On the lids, inside the lids of their canister vacuums, at least from this time, they had not only like a wiring diagram, but also the VCMA ratings, like sealed and working vacuum and horsepower and all that stuff that you don't really get today. So there's your parts breakdown. What's this? Shipping ticket. That's the old Sears logo. I like that logo. This is the newer Sears logo, so I have a feeling that this, what's in here, is going to be newer than some of this other stuff. Poor old box. This one says Sears Central Vacuum Cleaning System Attachment Set. Oh, this is the Kenmore floor inlet with a 1.25 inch opening, and that accepted the Kenmore pipe size from underneath, and had the little micro switch to turn it on. Look at the size of that thing. I don't know that anybody has chrome floors that this would look good on, but I don't know. If I ever put a floor inlet in, it's usually in a hardwood floor, and I use a brass one. This looks like the 2-inch to Kenmore 1 3/4 pipe adapter. And here's a spare Power Mate motor. This is interesting. There's stuff in these boxes that wouldn't have originally come in the boxes, but it's all new. It's all unused. Oh, here's a wall inlet. So this is the made after the push button or the push strip style for the latching relay units. This turns on when you open it. Functionally the same as the floor inlet, but for wall installation. So this will be 70s. And these continue on today, or at least a version of them, as Bud central vacuum inlets. And they still use a 1 1/4 inch wall end. So we have two wands, and these have the the traditional Kenmore design of the vent holes here. And that came about, I believe, as concern grew for a kid putting the end of the vacuum wand up and sucking their eyeball out or something. So a lot of the wands you'll see from that period are vented, including Kirby. They did this too. And same thing with the hose handle. The suction adjuster on these old hoses is just a nice design. It's labeled strong, medium, gentle. This one's pretty stiff, but it stays where you put it. Are you listening, Plastiflex? Old Kenmore floor brush. They always had a nice floor brush design. Not very large, but the center bristle means that you can plow through debris on the floor and it'll actually suck it up instead of pushing it. The other nice thing about the Kenmore floor brush, which is this is all Whirlpool, by the way, as you probably know. The angle of the elbow means that when you turn it 180 degrees, it is parallel to the floor, which allows for much easier cleaning underneath furniture than a more modern or a more standard type of floor brush, where this part has no angle, and when you turn the elbow that 180 degrees, the wand goes off at a goofy angle. You have to vacuum under furniture sideways. Sears got it right. And they also always did a great job of labeling all their tools, floors and walls. Not that I've ever vacuumed the walls, but or dusting. They always had a very fine dusting brush, natural bristle. Does the job, has a nice little swivel to it. And Hayden used these tools on Hayden Central Vacs, but when Ted Hayden decided he wanted to put together his own Central Vac, the Super Pack, it was all Whirlpool power head, hose, and tools. It's pretty crusty. Fabrics. Another floor and wall brush. I guess I could use one for floors and one for walls. And the very functional crevice tool design, which says crevices, flat so that you can go straight under a piece of furniture or an appliance, and flared. I always thought this was kind of cool how they did that. Another wand. And of course we have the switch for the Kenmore always called their power nozzle Power Mate. What's this? What's this? Whatever it is, it's nasty. Ugh. And this is the same sort of hose end that fits the 1 1/4 inch Kenmore wall valve or floor valve, as the case may be. So there you go. We have the original style Sears hose hanger with a clip for the wand. Nice design, simple, functional. Oh, this is the attachment caddy that you can mount to the wall. Permanex, sold by Sears Roebuck, Chicago, Illinois. At the time when this was made, I think my mom might have been working for Sears Roebuck in Sears Tower. Maybe. So you can see this. This could mount to the wall or you could carry it. And this had a place to put tools in. And your wands Well, these aren't really snapping in, are they? That one snaps in. Alright, I'm not sure exactly about that. This has, whoops. And on some of these boxes, you have the factory specification parts thing, and that was always a Whirlpool label. This is the Power Mate. Sears Canada. Oh, on this side it says Sears Roebuck Chicago. Okay, so this product was cross-labeled. Maybe because even this far back they were selling more Central Vacs in Canada. I wish this paperwork was in better shape. Beggars can't be choosers, though. It's wild to see this stuff. You know, we see it all duct taped and worn out. It is wild to see it absolutely unused. And of course, at this point, they didn't yet have the latch to release the wands. So instead, this little part of the neck somehow so your normal use position is like here, and then it gives you a swivel so that the hose handle can lay flat to get under furniture. And then if you, I'm trying not to screw it up here, but if you went like this, then you could remove it. And I guess that neck is just so new, it's not worn in enough that I can turn it past this little plastic detent here. But the Power Mate comes with the wand that has the cord management. So even in the 70s, I guess this would be 80s. I'm thinking what Kenmore canisters would have come with one that looked like this, and I'm thinking that's probably 80s. Spare bulb. Bombilla. I learn all my Spanish from product packaging these days. And this says, do not drop. Whirlpool, Danville, Kentucky. Shipped to Sears in Greensboro, North Carolina. 30-foot hose, electric. Okay, so this hose is made to fit the newer industry standard wall inlets that Beam and everybody else had started using. So in the 80s, Kenmore systems had basically the same equipment, but they switched to standard 2-inch tubing, 1.5-inch inlets. And so the hose you got was the same hose, but the end looked like this with the banded cuff, because of course these don't turn on until you insert the hose. So these are Hayden. So at this point, Hayden and Whirlpool Sears had a relationship. Hayden was borrowing the accessory design from them and selling them their fittings. Another belt. We'll never wear out the belts, but these hoses are pretty much shot. That's a shame. What is this? 59 sale, junk, department, category, description, employee. Are these like inventory clearance tags? Like they were clearing out their warehouse and I have a feeling that that could be the story here. Maybe somebody just collected this stuff at a clearance sale for Sears. And Sears was also very good about making the replacement parts accessible and available. They were on their game. I mean, they were I guess at their peak at this point. Poor hose. Look at that thing. Ugh. And for the finale, this has already been opened. Not by me. Sears tag. Just mangling that cardboard, but Sears best. These Kenmore units were always pretty plain, but I guess why make it fancy when it's going to hang on the basement wall and collect dust all its life? Because that's what its job is. Manual switch, reset button, your low voltage terminals, and this one has the old 1 1/4 pipe size, or 1 3/4 rather. Didn't get any fittings with this, but yeah. Kenmore, as you might know, was famous for, in their installation manuals, recommending that you use short sections of flexible hose to make the turns. And I don't think I agree with that at all, but it did make the system a little bit more DIY friendly. I do have some Kenmore literature that I will share in a upcoming video. There's that short power cord with a distinctive plug. And these didn't have a separate mounting bracket. It was integrated. You just ran a lag screw into the wall, and then however far away that is, you ran another one through. And we've got our 1 3/4 pipe adapter to get into there. Ooh, okay. We have a complete owner's manual and installation instructions. And we have the unique Kenmore exhaust vent cap, which doubled as a muffler, being lined with fiberglass. So this thing went on the outside of a house, and you ran tubing to there, because of course this being a cyclonic unit, it was absolutely essential to vent the exhaust outside. And if I take this off, then I can remove, and this would obviously be fixed to the wall. I have it upside down right now, but you would pull this off, and this was the part that you cleaned. So a cyclonic unit with a removable, replaceable screen assembly is kind of a nice thing. Though I have a hunch that the separation on these machines was not as good as like a VacuFlow that had the, oh well, you probably know the differences. I'm having a hard time describing it because I just think this is so cool. when you're used to seeing something just nasty and worn out, it is cool to see it brand new and immaculate. And I have run into original owners of Sears systems that had like one or two replacement of these on a shelf in their basement, and even one customer that when they had needed a motor, they bought two. So they had this like 20-year-old replacement motor on a shelf for their system. So anyway, wow, what a mess. Pretty cool though. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have. Thank you for watching. Happy vacuuming.